Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Shutiami. I'm one of the mentors from Gamji Educational and Mentorship Forum, and today as part of our program I will be speaking to you about one of the scholarships here in Australia. It is by a university called University of New South Wales here in Sydney, Australia, and it's meant for those who want to apply for a master's or PhD. So I did my PhD. I finished recently from one of the scholarship, and it's very easy to apply if you take your time and meet the requirement. Okay, just like as I mentioned earlier, this scholarship is by one of the universities in Sydney called University of New South Wales. And as you can see, the scholarship is divided into three. We have the first one, which is RTP, the abbreviation, funded by the Australian government. The second one, fully funded by the university. And the third one, partly paid by the university and the supervisor. So all of these scholarships have the same application process. You just click once and that's it. So the only difference is that for the first one by the Australian government, you get your health insurance covered, while in the second one, you don't get the health insurance, but you get your full stipend and the tuition fee covered. And then for the case of the last one, the university will pay your tuition fee, but then you have to get your cost of living or get your supervisor to pay it, which some supervisors can do if you have a very important research area. So as you can see, these are three scholarships. Same application, you just need to indicate. If you indicate for one, you will automatically be considered for the other. So simple as that. So let's look at how to apply for the scholarship. Okay, so how to apply? To apply for this scholarship, simply indicate that you'll also like to be considered for a UNSW, which is the name of the university, on your application for admission to a program, and select your prepared scholarship application round. You will be considered for all of the above scholarships. So just like as I have said earlier, you just need to apply for one and you will be considered for all. And another reason why this scholarship is quite easy to apply is that you don't need to apply for the scholarship separately. They attach the scholarship application to application for admission. So if you are a master's student or you want to apply for master's by research or you want to apply for PhD, all you need to do is just apply for admission. Only at one point, you just click and select which of these three scholarships you want to be considered. Obviously, the higher you go, the more competitive it becomes. But the good thing is, even if you select the first one, which is the most competitive, and for any reason you don't get it, you'll automatically be considered for the second one, if not for the last one. So it's just so easy. There is nothing for you to do other than to meet the application for admission requirement and just apply and indicate you want to be considered for the scholarship. Simple as that. So for anybody who wants to get some support or guide for the application, you can email the International Scholarship or Postgraduate School email, but more or less we can also help you with this if you meet the other requirements. And then there is a link to for further information about how to apply. So now coming to the main thing, which is the eligibility requirement. So as we can see, this is the minimum requirement. So if you want to stand the competition, you should be able to have a little bit above the minimum requirement. Obviously, this is the same thing everywhere. So they only give people this scholarship based on merit. So all they can do at each round is to get list of list of the people who have applied and then see those with the highest point. So obviously you want to make sure you have the highest point possible. So as you can see, the first one is minimum of 2.2, which we call it in Niger. Second class lower, but for somebody who has a 2.1 will definitely get more point than you with 2.2, and somebody who's first class will have more points than somebody who has a 2-1. So the higher, the better. But if you want to apply for the Master's by Research, your bachelor's degree has to be honors. So mostly, if you do your bachelor's degree, for example, in Nigeria, if it is a honors degree, it will be indicated. The same thing if you do it outside Nigeria, you should know if it is a honors or not. And then secondly, Master's with a substantial component in research. That's for PhD. So if you are for PhD, definitely you should you should have masters that has significant research component. So which means there is a big portion of it that is dedicated for research. And obviously, if your master's does not have a research, then I will recommend you apply for the master's by research, and then after that you can jump into PhD. It's mostly easier if you are here in Australia. And then the next most important point is the English test, which I know many of us don't like it, but it's a necessity. We have to do it. So the simplest one, which I believe many students will like to take it, is the IELTS, which is done in Nigeria across different centers. I know of Kano, Abuja, Lagos, and many cities in Nigeria. So it's a one-time exam, and you are required to achieve an overall score of 6.5 out of 9. And then out of the 4 bands of the exam, you should achieve at least 6 in each. And then write a research proposal. So whether master's or PhD, you are expected to write a research proposal. And then finally, find a supervisor. So this is the most tricky part, and at the same time, the most rewarding part, because if you are able to get a supervisor who will agree to supervise your proposal, then your chances of the scholarship is very high. So you have 2 ways to do this. First is to check this link that I put linked to supervisors. So you'll just see the list of researchers at that university and just keep going through their profiles and then see which one has research area similar to your proposal, and simply send them an email. You want them to consider you for a PhD or for a master's by research, and attaches your proposal. So you can send this message to as many potential supervisors as possible, not just one. So anyone that replies to you, that's great. You just need to indicate their name on your application. Alternatively, if you don't have a ready-made proposal or you want to work with an existing research, then you can check this the different faculties of the universities, because there are so many research going on, and if for any reason a supervisor is conducting a big research and somehow you have what it takes to prove to that supervisor that you can contribute to part of his or her research, then the supervisor can just get you in without needing to write another proposal. And generally this proposal is something short, just to indicate how you intend to do the research, or just a brief outline of your research idea. In many cases, the supervisor will arrange a short interview with you to see how much you know about that research. So think about it. So these are the minimum requirements. Does that mean that's all? Of course, literally on paper, yes. If you have this, you meet the requirement. But then what else will you have to prove or to stand the competition? As I said earlier, publication is the most important, especially if you are applying for a PhD. The better publications you have, the higher your chances. Even to gain a supervisor, if you have publication, that helps a lot. So that could be a published article in a journal, or maybe some conferences, or maybe some awards that you get, which is academic related. So, but then you don't have to have it, but if you have it, it's a big plus. So these are the requirements, and then as you can see, the deadline one is the release date is March. So that means you should apply for a scholarship during this if you wish to start your studies in term 3, which is 2022. So closes 4th February, midnight Australian time. So as you can see, this scholarship will be closed on 4th of February, which is the earliest one. And then you will hear the result by the 31st. So you can follow the other rounds if you think you are not ready by then, but these are the deadlines. And then another thing is the enrollment. One thing with the universities in Australia is that they are very flexible for research courses. As you can see, the UNSW HDR academic calendar provides a level of flexibility for HDR candidates that reflect the ongoing nature of the research. So in a nutshell, you can even arrange when you want to start if you get the admission and the scholarship. So there is no fixed time. But if you want to go with the general timing, as you can see, they mentioned term 1, term 2, term 3, and term 4. So which start from February all the way until November. So that's not a problem. Focus on meeting the requirement. That's what matters. And now, assuming you met all those requirements, that means you are ready to apply for the scholarship. So once you have secured a supervisor, very important, as we said, to me, I think this is 50% of the success is there. So keep sending emails to supervisors. You will get somebody who will reply you based on your CV or proposal. Health your interview, obviously, the supervisors will arrange that if they want to work with you. Develop a research proposal, as we said, and prepare your supporting document. Obviously, there are other supporting documents like transcript, result, references, but all these are minor application requirements. So the key ones are the ones we have mentioned earlier, and you are ready to apply. Only those that submitted everything will be assessed. So it's very good for you to take your time and apply with all the required documents. And then your program needs to be within the same school as your supervisor, obviously. Any department you apply, so that means the supervisor needs to come from there. Applicants should only submit one application at a time. So as you can see, only one application, and this is the application link. But very importantly, you need to do those things. You need to have a proposal, look for supervisor, and write the English exam before you do this application. Remember, you have plenty of time, and if it is not complete, they are not going to consider it. So do these 3 things, please. Proposal, find a supervisor, get your English. Anything else is a bonus. And as I said before, this is same for all other Australian scholarships. So if you feel this is too competitive for you or you are not successful, don't give up. Follow the same process and apply to any Australian university. This is the nature of the scholarship. Just apply for admission, on process indicate the scholarship. So easy. So as I said, for questions and more information, contact us via our Facebook page, Educational and Mentorship Forum. Thank you.